No, it's okay.
I love Andrea's speech. I have a dog like Rebecca and like Andrea. My dog is awesome. It's so great. He's called Kronos. When he was little, he was so little, and they go, how could you name the dog Kronos? Now, as an evaluator, if I start an evaluation like that, that wouldn't be a good start. Why? Because I'm starting to talk about myself rather than talking about the speakers and what they were presenting. One thing to know when you start an evaluation or where you talk about a speech itself, you want to evaluate the speech itself, not continue what the content of that speech was. Definitely one thing to have in consideration when you're evaluating someone. Now, the importance of evaluations is that they're threefold. You're benefiting from it as an evaluator because you're practicing your listening skills, your impromptu speaking skills. For the speaker, of course, it benefits them because they get immediate feedback on what they did, as opposed to, okay, remembering, or somebody telling you on the side, oh yeah, great speech, but does that really contribute to what you're trying to improve? We're all here to improve and do better in speaking either publicly or in day-to-day communications. You want to know that, okay, I use a lot of crutch words. Nobody is going to tell you that out in the regular world, and that's distracting oftentimes. Other purpose for speakers specifically, it helps them build and maintain self-esteem. You can accentuate the positive things that a speaker has the ability to do already. So that's important as well. And for the audience, it's also beneficial because you get to practice your listening skills as well. You can compare your evaluation, whether you're writing it down, and ideally we have those slips there so you can write some notes down, compared to how the evaluator evaluates the speaker. So we're all benefiting from the evaluation. A lot of people say that the most important part of the meeting is the evaluation part of the meeting, because that's where you're building your listening skills as an audience. You're building communication skills as well, and something that you can use throughout your career, not just within Toastmasters, but in your regular professional world as well. Now, as an evaluator, there's a tell and sell approach that's mentioned in the Evaluate to Motivate guide. And what that and I'll describe it right here. This requires the evaluator to do all the talking while the speaker listens. The importance of that is right now you want to get one-way communication so you can understand, as the speaker, understand exactly what the evaluator is trying to say. So that's important. You make the meeting more efficient. There's different types of evaluations. The ones that we primarily do are just the evaluator comes up and then presents evaluation to everyone. There's also other types called, for example, round robin evaluation, where the speaker does their speech and then we go around the table to different people to get an evaluation from them as well. But in the interest of time, especially in our condensed meetings that we have here, we want to have efficient evaluations that are timed and concise. And you want to allow the speaker to focus on what is being said. So you, again, focus on the listening part of the evaluation. One thing that is suggested here, and luckily we didn't do it, new members should not evaluate until they've conducted a few speeches themselves. The importance of this is that you've practiced, you know what you're looking for, you've gone through some of the Confident Communicator manual already, and you understand what to look for in speeches. Now, if you come from past experience with speaking, then that might be a different topic. But for most of us, we don't have that practical experience. So you want to make sure you have some practical experience first, and also see that how people do the evaluations, which is important as well. Now, a few things to cover for how to evaluate effectively, and one on that note, there's actually an effective evaluation manual out on the Toastmasters website that you can reference, and it's available for free download as well, which will go very deep into effective evaluation if you want to get further information on that. So before the speech, talk to the presenter. Ask them, especially when they're getting more advanced into the manuals, ask them, discuss the objectives, ask them what they're looking for. Are there specific things that you want to focus on? I know for me, I get a lot of evaluation feedback that I need to work on vocal variety, and that's something that I will always ask my evaluator. Have I done anything? Have I improved on my vocal variety? And that's something that I need as a speaker to consciously think about, and I want to let the evaluator know, yes, please be specific on the evaluation of my vocal variety, because I'm not great. That's something that we all, and if there's things that you need to work on, then let's work on them. You want to demonstrate that you're interested when you're the evaluator out in the audience. You don't want to be, okay, I'm evaluating, oh, but I need to, checking messages. You're not paying attention to the person. You want to actually really pay attention. Look at the person. Show that you're really interested. That's why you're an evaluator. And personalize your language. Put yourself in the position of the speaker. How would you feel if I'm speaking, if you're speaking and somebody's not paying attention? As an evaluator, that would be very distracting and discouraging. Also, stay away from the negative side of negative words, like you didn't do this, or you should have done that, or you failed to do this. I like to focus more on the positive side of things and positive reinforcement as well. To stimulate improvement, use words like, I believe, my reaction was this, or I suggest that you do this specifically. And the evaluator's mantra, as suggested in the manual, to maximize your skills. You describe what you saw, describe what you heard, and describe how you felt about it. Another thing to think about, I think we're mostly good about this. I don't believe I've heard an evaluation where this has happened, but evaluate the speech, not the person. Whether the fact that maybe they're having a bad day for some reason, or you're evaluating the specific speech. You're not saying, okay, that's bad. That's very general and not helpful at all. So you, again, evaluate the speech, not the person. And you want to promote self-esteem. You want to encourage people to continue their Toastmasters journey. If someone is discouraging or disparaging, it's not helpful at all. And then that's where positive reinforcement comes to play. Honest and sincere praise, not just false praise. And one thing that, from an interesting person, I think, especially nowadays, he's quoted as saying, it is extremely dangerous to encourage people to see themselves as exceptional, whatever the motivation. I bet you can't guess who said that. Vladimir Putin.
Close.
I thought that was an interesting thing that he would say. But in our case, that it is important. Let's not be too uplifting in the sense that we're giving false praise. We want to create a strong, positive environment for us to grow. So we need that feedback, that constructive criticism as well. And that's where the being disingenuous comes into play. Let's be genuine in how we're presenting and talking about it. Like when my evaluator comes up, I expect them to say, you could have been better in vocal variety. I know I need to work on that. If I need to scream out, then that's something that I need to do. And to conclude, you want to make sure you, again, provide, listen to what the person is saying, the speaker, show that you're really interested, personalize your language, make sure you use words of improvement and positive reinforcement. Don't be convoluted.
There you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And definitely promote self-esteem. We're all here to learn. Let's continue to learn and grow together.